the word hijab, translated as veil, not for only women, but men and women both. But before I discuss the ayahs related to the topic, I would like to give you the understanding in the world. What has people have gathered or have understood or is been known generally, what is a hijab? You may have heard a word scarf, or a headgear. A lady wearing a scarf or a headgear is referred in the most of the Muslim society as hijab. The word hijab that has occurred in the Quran, how many? I think 5 times. 5 times the word hijab has occurred in the Quran, which means veil. And 2 times the word has occurred hijaban, which is also the same word, but just grammatically a little bit of difference, which means veil 2 times. And one more time is mahjubun, which means also hijab. The root letter is the hijab. So total 8 times the word hijab, meaning the veil, has occurred in the Quran, and not once, I repeat, not once, it is related to the understanding prevailing in the environment as a headgear or as a gown or whatsoever people are taking with clothes, facing the cover, facing the head, covering the eyes or the face or the hands or the feet, whatsoever. Not once. First of all, you must know this. Hijab means the veil, a barrier between 2 people or between Allah and me. That's the meaning. First of all, we must understand what you're listening. So the meaning of hijab means the barrier or a veil. That's the meaning. But why we are having a hijab means we are covering our clothes by our body and everything, we are covering by clothes. But what hijab is related to Allah and the ayahs that I will read, and we'll find out what it says. First of all, I would like to give you 2-3 words of Arabic words that is occurred in the Quran to understand this lecture more easily, and that is the word thawb, translated as clothes. I'm wearing a cloth. You people are wearing clothes. That is, the Arabic word is thawb. Plural is siyab. The other word is the libas or labasa, which means to wear. I am wearing clothes. You people are wearing clothes. To wear means labasa or libas. What you are wearing is clothes, means a garment or a dress code, a dress. It can vary from country to country or city to nations and everywhere. Culture also, there's a dress. Every man and woman are wearing clothes. And that, when you say wearing clothes in the Arabic, it means thawb. Wearing clothes means thawb, thiyab, and labasa means to wear. So all of you are wearing clothes, all of us. And the way we are wearing, meaning we are covering ourselves, our body. And once we are covering our body, we are, so to say, bringing a hijab between each other. Hijab. We are what is this is the suit I am wearing, is a cloth made of cloth. It has become a hijab, a barrier between my inner body structure and the outside from you people. Similarly, women are wearing and men are wearing. So the clothes are a barrier at the moment between me and you and everybody. We wear clothes. Wearing a cloth is already a hijab. When a child or we people are born, definitely you all know we are born nude. But the moment the child is born, we cover the child, meaning what covering we do with the clothes is what physical parts of that child is the private parts. The whole world knows what are the private parts. So there are certain parts to be exposed and there are certain parts to be hide. The hidden parts and the exposed parts. The debate or the dispute going on around the Muslim community is what are the exposed parts and what are the hidden parts of women, generally speaking. But everybody knows what are the private parts and what are the exposed parts, generally in the whole world. Precisely when we'll deal the ayahs relating to this topic hijab, to veil, to create a barrier between each other, we'll see. But why I am reading this word, the clothes, already we are in hijab. When we wear clothes, we are hijab. Everybody is in hijab, we are wearing clothes. The limitations we'll discuss. What are the limits? That is, we are going to discuss what we can expose and what we cannot expose. Secondly, a self or a soul or a nafs in Arabic of human beings contains two things. Self of a human being contains two things. Or a human being contains a soul, and soul contains two things: the intelligence and emotions, the feelings. And one is the body structure, the body. So a human beings are a combination of body, this body, and soul, the self. And the self contains heart, where from emotions are exposed feelings, and the other is the head, the intelligence. So the psychology contains the intelligence and the emotions, and the body is the human body, male or female. Difference is the structure. So when we will discuss the hijab, it refers to both the body and the soul, the self. In psychology, what you have to hide from each other and what you have to expose in psychology. Similarly, what body structure you have, what are the exposed parts of the body and what are the hidden parts of the body, private parts. So this you must understand that we are not only covering our body, we don't know, but we are already covering our psychological aspects. And in that psychological aspects are emotions and feelings. Either you say feelings or emotions and intelligence. In the emotions and the feelings, the sexual feelings is included, the feelings. So we are covering from each other. How the lecture will go on, I will discuss first the ayahs that is given in the booklet related to the word hijab first. Related to the word hijab. A few ayahs I will discuss the word hijab, the word that hijab has occurred in the ayahs. Then we will discuss the physical aspect and the emotional aspect of women. First, the hijab or whatever, the veil. And then the men hijab is also mentioned in the Quran, both. But first women and then men. But first of all, I am discussing the word hijab. How the word hijab has occurred in the ayahs. Surah number Shura 42, ayah 51. وَمَا كَانَ لِبَشَرٍ أَن يُكَلِّمُهُ اللَّهُ إِلَّا وَحْيًا أَوْ مِنْ وَرَاءِ حِجَابٍ أَوْ يُرْسِلَ رَسُولًا فَيُوحِيَ بِإِذْنِهِ مَا يَشَاءُ إِنَّهُ عَلِيٌّ حَكِيمٌ. And it is not for any human being that Allah speaks to him except by inspiration or from behind a hijab veil, or he sends a messenger, then he inspires with his permission what he wills. Surely he is most high wise. If you note in this ayah, the word hijab has occurred. The word hijab has occurred in this ayah. And in the it just plainly, if you read it, you can understand this is not a physical hijab. I will explain to you that Allah, in this ayah, Allah says that there are three modes by virtue Allah communicate or speaks with man. One is by wahi or inspiration, and the second is behind the hijab, min warai hijab, or behind a veil. He speaks to man. The third is he sends a Rasul or messenger, and this messenger inspires whatever Allah wills to the man. So there are three different modes of Allah that Allah communicates to people, men and women both. That is the mode of communication. And in this mode, I'm not going to discuss how. Our lecture is related to hijab, so I will just tell you that we have to understand that we have to, what is that hijab, or what is that hijab, the veil, that behind that hijab veil Allah communicates to man. That is the topic. What is that hijab, the veil, that behind that veil and hijab Allah communicates to man? We have to discuss that. The other aspects and how, and there's a big topic, a separate topic altogether. But only I'm going to discuss the word hijab, telling you that what is that hijab, the veil that Allah communicates to man. Because we all want to follow the guidance from Allah. So what hijab that I should have, that Allah should communicate to me? What is the veil, or what is the hijab I should have, that behind that hijab, the veil, Allah communicates to me? And the best of example in the whole Quran, the word hijab, the veil, has occurred here with Allah and with Maryam alayhi salam, Mary. And if you note, if you listen to the next ayah, I will read for you. Surah Maryam 19 and ayah 16 and 17. وَاذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ مَرْيَمْ إِذِ انْتَبَذَتْ مِنْ أَهْلِهَا مَكَانًا شَرْقِيًّا. And mention the Maryam, Mary, in the book, when she separated from her family to an eastern place. فَاتَّخَذْ مِنْ دُونِهِمْ حِجَابًا. فَاتَّخَذَتْ مِنْ دُونِهِمْ حِجَابًا فَأَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهَا رُوحَنَا فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا. Then apart from them, she took a hijab, veil. Then we sent to her our ruh, spirit, the essence. So he was for an even example of a human being. The example, the best example, or the only example that has occurred in the Quran is with Maryam, the word hijab. The word hijab has occurred with Allah, that Allah speaks to man behind that hijab veil. And now Allah is explaining that mention or remember in the book about Maryam that she separated from her family to an eastern place, somewhere in the east. She separated. Then apart from her family, فَاتَّخَذَتْ مِنْ دُونِهِمْ حِجَابًا. Then apart from her family, she took a hijab, the veil. Her family in the Quran is, the father is the Imran alayhi salam, Imran, and the brothers are the Musa and Harun alayhi salam. And the caretaker of Maryam alayhi salam is Zakaria alayhi salam. These are the family of Maryam. So apart from these people, there is the father, the brother, and the caretaker Zakaria alayhi salam, and these are all three prophets. Apart from them, she took an hijab. Who? Maryam. From who? From other people. Exception is Imran, Hazrat Harun alayhi salam, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, and Zakaria alayhi salam, the caretaker of Maryam. Apart from these people, she took the hijab from whom? From the people, other people. From other people, she took a hijab. And the moment she took that hijab, Allah sent the essence of the ruh to her. That means Allah, when she took that hijab, Allah is communicating with Maryam. Behind that veil, behind that hijab. When she established the hijab, behind that hijab, the veil, Allah sent the Spirit to communicate to her. That is the way Allah communicates to man. So Maryam alayhi salam, apart from her family members, I have already mentioned they are the prophets. She took an hijab, and once she took the hijab, Allah sends the messenger, Ruh, the Spirit, and behind that Spirit, Allah speaks to her.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Muhammad Sheikh's channel. Please click the bell icon so that you may receive timely notifications of our upcoming videos.